So anyway, that's that. That's that. And then the Red Wings, following up with that, Yzerman was interviewed about his moves.
Yeah.
And he said that, he was doing what, John?
No, I'm waiting for you to get to the Blashill.
Oh,
that's where I thought you were going.
I am. I am. So Stevie, in his very subtle, soft-spoken way, was talking about the moves and what they were doing and nothing crazy. And there was two things I thought were interesting that Helen, that was interviewing, I don't know her last name, but she had some very good questions. First question was, what about coaching? I know that there's been issues with defense, are any of the coaches under review? What's going on with that? And he said, this is not the time to talk about the coaches. We're talking about the trade deadline. And we will talk about, what did he say? I will meet with Jeff regarding the future of our team moving forward when that time comes. And to me, that says a lot, and that's not verbatim, but to me, that says that he's going to probably be on the outs. I don't know that we keep him. I don't think we do. I think we need to find somebody else. Who is it? I don't know. Now, if we don't have the right guy, maybe then he does stick around one more year, but I think max one more year. I think and hope he's out, but we will see. Blashill did a great job to date, right? He did a solid job. This year was probably his weakest year in growing young talent. So we will see what happens. The second part, which they asked why Yzerman, he's really quiet all the time and he doesn't say a lot. And it was interesting to hear him say, everybody thinks I'm up to these crazy ideas in my head. And he goes, I'm not. I'm just thinking. And so he said he wasn't analyzing over, but he then said he was.
Yeah.
And then Max said today that Yzerman's thinking about how he can get up on the 18th green. He's thinking about golfing. I don't think that's the case. I think Yzerman is contemplating everything all the time. So that's just me. Believe in Steve or the Yzer plan, whatever you prefer. But that is the Red Wings rundown for today. That is, I think, a decent summary of what happened. A lot's been going on, so I did my best there.
Well, I got questions.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I'm gonna start with some dummy questions and then
fine.
All right. So dummy question: how many rounds are there in the NHL draft?
That is a great question. I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the draft is not a big, so it's not like the NFL draft.
Right. Because that was another thing, looking at, watching the trades come through.
You're going to make me feel like a dummy.
And keeping, seeing the draft picks get swapped back and forth for players and things like that. The first
7 rounds of 31 choices.
Okay, so it's very similar to the NFL draft. The question I ended up having, though, was, how much value... It felt like draft picks have a similar value to what the NFL does. It feels like those draft picks have the same amount of value in that typically you see when the NFL when trades happen in the NFL, they're rarely player for player. Rarely are they player for player. It's usually for draft picks because you're trying to get a younger influx of talent in there,
right,
to be able to fill some of the holes that you have. So like I said, watching the trades come through, that made me super interested in what Steve Yzerman was doing, because I'm just okay, a 4th round pick, a 7th round pick, what kind of value does this hold for a team that, again, I feel like we all kind of are in agreement. There's a lot of defensive holes, and can you get quality defensive players?
Right.
Because I also know that hockey is very while it seems like they have a similar draft format to the NFL, their ability to bring up talent is very similar to baseball, though, where it's you're going to go play in a developmental league for a couple of years, and then maybe in a year or two, you'll get called up and you can play with the main crew.
Yeah, I think that's yes, that is a correct assessment. And I am prepared for our picks here over the next years, which is interesting. You caught me on that one. Good one, Meko. You got me. So yes, I would say that's correct. And it almost lends itself to soccer as well.
Okay.
The way in which you get players younger and you keep them within your system if you can.
Yeah.
Right now, for soccer internationally, it's even more. Like they're finding kids right at like 8, 10, 12, and then they're going into the system.
Yeah,
this is different, right? Kids play juniors, they play, college, and that's a little bit different. But once they're in the system, right? Once they're drafted, to your point, yes, they're going to the AHL or in Mo Sider's case, because COVID, right? He went and played in the Swedish league and crushed over there. So yeah, the idea is to get them and get those draft picks to build your team, right? To build your team the way you want to build them and have those pieces to trade if you need to. So to that point, so this year, 2022, we have 10 picks.
Nice.
We have 1 first rounder. We have 2 second rounders, 1 third rounder. We have 3 fourth rounders. We have 1 fifth rounder. We have no 6th rounders, and we have 2 7th rounders. So anyway, yeah. So that's okay. So what other dumb questions that you can make me look dumb?
Oh, this is a dumb question, but like it's like I saw it on the screen today, and it just irks me.
What?
And I don't know why it irks me. Why do coaches in hockey have to wear full suits? Like I hate that, like in professional sports, that we make our coaches like feel like they have to adhere to a dress code. Like you're coaching an athletic event. I feel like you should dress accordingly.
So
it just looks weird in hockey.
That's fair, but it's an element of tradition. I know it's out of tradition. I know it's to show respect for fans and that they're taking games seriously. So they are dressed up for the games, and it's really an element of tradition. Hockey is a game of a lot of traditions that are really old school, right? Like the fighting. Like, I mean, listen to Mick, right?
No,
like Redmond's it's just a lot of old things, and that's one of them.
Out of respect for you, I'm gonna dress like the guy who just denied you your home loan.
Right? Like I find it odd, like in a sport where people where a large percentage of the guys that play it are missing teeth. You're gonna be like, no, but the coach has got to wear. I want to see you in that 3-piece. Yeah. Like your best player probably doesn't have like any of his fronts. I find that just really ironic in a sport like hockey.
Yeah, but that's what I know, right? That's
right. I just because I feel like all sports were like that at one point in time, right? Like every sport had coaches in 3-piece suits walking along the sidelines, baselines, whatever it was. And then like I think slowly we've seen like every other sport kind of get away from it, and like hockey's the one that's just like no. You better go to the line, get that suit. You better go hit the Steve Harvey collection, and you better be dressed to the nines.
My gosh,
each and every game. So yeah, that was my only takes on the
suits.
It bothers me.
So I'm looking it up. Why. It's a dress code.
It is an actual dress code, huh?
I need them to hire a young coach that's just like, nah.
Any other questions? Any other brain busters?
I got another one that I'll say for another episode because I feel like it could lead to a larger conversation.
Oh, now I want to know though.
It was actually a question that my wife had, and I was like, that's a really good point. And
what can I get a lead in?
It's about scoring.
Okay. Well, now I really want to know.
All right, so I'll ask it anyway.
Okay.
And hopefully we can like get off of this and then get into football.
I'll set a timer.
My wife was like, I was talking to her about like, how we talk about the wings and like things of that nature. And she was just like, my own thing with hockey. And I was like, what? She was like, why is every goal only worth 1 point? And I was like, it sounded dumb at first, but then I thought about it. I'm like, you can literally score from just about anywhere on the ice. And I feel like if you score from further out because of how difficult it is to score, I feel like those should count for more points. Wow. And I think it would make hockey more exciting.
Wow. Interesting. So like if you're shooting from the point, it's 2 points? 2 points?
Like the fact that there should probably be 2-pointers.
Interesting. Okay. All right. I'm going to have to think about that.
I think it would make it so much more interesting, especially when like late in games, if you're like down by 2 and you're just like, dude, we're just going to like just snipe from the point. We're just going all just rocket, like just shooting from inside the red line. Wow. Interesting. Okay. All right. Now, granted, these are black people that are like asking this question, and we're used to watching basketball where there's 2 and 3-pointers.
Sure. Totally get it.
But we were just
totally get it.
I did not have like I was like, no, that's a really good question.
Interesting.